Hey you guys, welcome back. I'm going to explain briefly your assignment for this week. It's pretty simple. We are going to be focusing on allegories, and you're going to be reading a couple of stories. The ones who walked away from Amelia's, and the other one is titled The Child in the Basement. You are going to first do a warm up where you're going to watch a video titled The Allegory of Long Spoons. It's very symbolic, and with that video, I want you to think of what you think the people and the spoons represent, and what do you think the film's theme is. And there's a link on slide 3 if you still don't understand after watching the video that you can kind of clear things up. Just click that link. On slide number 4, there's a little video that you can watch to review what an allegory is, and it will help you tremendously with this assignment. Moving on to slide 5, I want you to read a story titled The Ones Who Walked Away from Amelia's. And after reading, I want you to answer a discussion question on the discussion forum thread in Google Classroom. The question that you're going to be answering is, based upon what you've learned in the slideshow, how do you know that The Ones Who Walked Away from Amelia's is an allegory? Give specific examples from the text to support your answer. So with that, again, I just want you to go to the discussion board and write your response. That will be 1 grade for this week, just your discussion answer. Now, if you don't use text evidence, I'm taking points off. If you don't have a very thoughtful, insightful response, you're not going to get a very good grade. Make sure that your response answers the question clearly. Make sure you're using text evidence to support your answer, and you're rereading for grammar, spelling, and things like that. If that's going to be taken as a grade, I expect you guys to come up with something that is thoughtful and, well developed. It shouldn't be just 1 or 2 sentences. It needs to be a very well developed response. You can go through and read your classmates' discussion posts and reply to them. Tell them if you agree with something, disagree with something, or if they made a really good point. If you copy and paste anybody's, you're going to get a 0 for that grade. So make sure you're putting your own insight into that discussion post. So that's slide number 5. Okay, moving on, slide 6. You're going to read an article titled The Child in the Basement. And what I want you to do is really focus on what allegory is being represented here, because that allegory is going to roll over into your assignment for this week. After you read that, if you move on to slide 7, you will see the main assignment directions. You are going to be producing, or you're going to be focusing on examples of that particular allegory that you've been reading about in your own world. Where do we see institutions or practices or parts of our culture that are enjoyable and pleasant but can only exist because of some sort of hidden injustice? And that will all make more sense after you read the story and the article. But your assignment this week is to come up with or produce a 2-page document on Google Docs. It needs to be on Google Docs, where page 1 focuses on the surface world and page 2 focuses on the invisible world. So the surface world being the world that, we all see, the mask. And then the invisible world is actually the injustice, what's really going on in that world. So each page must include the following: a 5 to 6 sentence paragraph describing a pleasant surface or unpleasant invisible part of your society. 2 is a hyperlink to an article or website addressing this part of society. Okay. And number 3, a made-up letter written from the perspective of a member of this part of society. Note that the surface world and the invisible world that you identify need to be connected. It all needs to be connected into one example. If you move on to slide 8, I've given you in this yellow box here a list of examples that you can use for this assignment. SeaWorld, Tiger King, Child Stars, Sweatshops, Girls Gymnastics, Beauty Pageants, Capitalism, North Korea, and the World of Ballet. If you can think of any other ones that you want to use, go ahead and use those. These are just some of the ones that I've come up with off the top of my head, and some of the other teachers as well. Don't forget that you need to submit this assignment no later than Friday at 11:59. There is a link to the assignment itself and the rubric, so don't forget to take a look at those as well. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, and please stay updated with your grades and things like that. I don't have any information on final exams yet, but once I do, I will relay that message on to you. I hope you guys have a great week. Bye-bye.